And this brings me to what I believe.
I believe that life is a spiritual struggle.
I believe in being gracious to others.
I believe in the power of science fiction.
I believe in sinning badly.
I believe that God lives in the space between people.
I believe in so much more than freedom of speech, and I believe that it is time we all took a stand.
And I believe that life is not fair, but we should try our best to make it equal.
Life is not fair, but you should do the best to make it as near as possible. Are poor kids supposed to be born in poor families? Why don't poor people have the same opportunities as the more fortunate ones? When you see a poor person smile, does it mean anything to you? Because to me, it's just inspiring. This is one of the few realities that our world is facing. These are one of the few things that we as humans shall not ignore. Now ask yourself this question: are you still human? Being a human doesn't involve not having green skin, or having two eyes, or having two legs. Being a human is being able to feel empathy for the others. Being a human means try your best to excel in life. Being a human is being able to feel inspiration for someone rather than hating that person only because he's better at something that you love. Being a human involves being able to forgive as well as apologizing for your mistakes and learning from them as well. But what I find more important than any of these qualities is the ability to be grateful with what you have and the ability to overcome all types of harshness. And this I believe. Now, I will tell you a short story that changed my point of view of life. The day when I became a human. One day, I was going on my dad's car along with both of my parents. I had been told that we were going to eat at lunch at a Chinese restaurant, which I hated. Oh well, who am I lying to? I hate Chinese food in general. But before we went to the Chinese restaurant, my dad told us that we were going to leave a food basket to someone. So we took another route, and after 10 minutes of riding the car, we finally reached the neighborhood where we were supposed to leave the basket. The road was in really bad shape. It wasn't paved. It had a lot of bumps, and you could barely see a light pole. It seemed as if the government had forgotten that this neighborhood even existed. So my dad finally reached the house. It was made out of wood and it was 3 by 3 meters. To be honest, it looked like a kick from anyone would bring the whole house down. My dad used a horn, and from the old house, an old woman with 3 children came out. They had a really sad face, but when they saw my dad with a basket full of food in his hands, they responded with a big smile. After that, we left and we decided to go to take a lunch. But before getting to the Chinese restaurant, I made my parents go buy me food from another restaurant. After the lunch, we headed back home. On our way back home, my dad told me something that would change my way of thinking. He told me, "You know, son, you should be grateful for what you have. You've been lucky enough to be born in our family. You have been lucky enough to say, 'No, Mom, I don't want to eat this,' or 'I don't want to do this.' But you are one of the few lucky cases. You know, millions of people are looking right now for food. They would eat anything that you give them. Remember the tallest kid of them all? Well, he lost his dad at the age of 2, and they have always been having a lot of economic issues. The tiny house where they live in is not even theirs. This kid works hard in a car wash all day long. He goes to night school. He's just a kid about 2 years older than you. And you know what is more amazing? He's always smiling. And he's always trying to take his whole family out of poverty. After hearing those words from my dad, I just stayed in silence thinking of what he had really said. From that day on, I decided that I would change my way of living my life. I decided that I should give my best in everything I did. I decided to at least try food instead of just saying I just don't like it. I decided that that kid was going to become a role model for me to see forward to. I learned that problems that I ever had were just minor problems compared to the problems that other people face on a daily basis. And most of all, I knew that I could overcome any problem. Today, that child that I still see as a role model was able to construct a house for his family. And until today, he continues working hard for the sake of his future. For this reason, I believe that life isn't fair. But with some hard work, you can overcome any type of unfairness. And this, I believe. And as a wise woman once said, don't try to make life a mathematical problem with yourself in the center and everything coming out equal. When you are good, bad things can still happen. And if you are bad, you can still be lucky. Barbara Kingsolver.